Hi, my name is Pietro. Welcome to my online guitar course called Pietro's Guitar Philosophy. I've been teaching guitar for about 25 years, guiding hundreds of students through their musical journey, and now I'm very excited to begin this new adventure with this video channel. In this introduction, I would like to talk to you a little bit about the main features of this course. I like to consider music as a language, and in this comparison, improvisation is much like talking. With our native language, the first things that we experience since the first days of our lives are hearing. We hear noises, words, sounds, silence, and immediately hearing becomes listening because we are curious about what we are hearing, and so we try to understand it. This process very quickly continues with trying to repeat what we listen to, and in a few months, when we are about 1 year old, we start talking. The process continues, and in about 1 more year, we start to be able to have a conversation with others. We become more and more aware of our language in the aspect of listening, understanding, and talking. The other aspects of our language only start to develop a few more years later, when we are about 5 or 6 years old, when we go to school, starting to learn how to read, how to write, starting to study, to memorize things. But all of these new aspects are possible thanks to the fact that we already are aware of the oral aspect of our language. We can listen to things, we can understand, and we can talk. So going back to music, improvising, being able to improvise means being able to create things with our instrument that don't already exist, to invent things, to have a conversation with other musicians, to interact with them, and to learn from listening. And this eventually brings us to the possibility to learn songs, to memorize licks or riffs, to memorize entire solos from our favorite musicians in a much faster way, and understanding what we're learning in a much deeper way. Being able also to incorporate the things that we are learning into our own playing. Another great thing about improvisation technique is that it's really central. It involves the most important aspects that we want to work on in a musical training program, such as the knowledge of our instrument, our fretboard, the knowledge of materials such as scales, chords, arpeggios. We have to understand some theory in order to know what the connections between notes and chords are, what's the relationship between chords inside a particular chord progression, what scale can we use to improvise on a song. Then we have to develop ear training and rhythmic skills. We have to train daily, we have to improve our control, our fingerings, our speed, our tone. All of these aspects are going to be divided into 3 main sections, which are going to be strongly related to one another and are going to proceed in a parallel way. The first section is called Study with Me, and it contains lessons in which we're going to learn something new, some new material, such as, for example, the positions of a scale, or some topics in theory, like understanding what the connections between notes and chords are. In the Practice with Me section, we are going to train on the things that we have been learning in the Study with Me section. So there are going to be exercises, we're going to work with the metronome, we're going to try to speed up our movements, and especially we're going to transform the things that we have been learning into material that we can deal with in a more elastic way. For example, if we learn a scale in the study part, we're just going to go up and down the scale to memorize it, to visualize the shape of the scale on the guitar. But then in the Practice with Me section, we need to change the order in which we are able to make movements inside of these scales, because that's the way that we're going to use it when we're going to improvise. The Play with Me section is the main goal we're aiming at. It's the part where we're really going to play on harmonic progressions or songs, and we are trying to use the material that we have been working on in the other two sections to try to improvise. So from the different points of view, melodic, harmonic and rhythmic, we're going to really play. The two little words "with me" completing the titles of the three sections represent what I think is probably one of the most important features of the whole course. Every video is thought to be as close as possible to a real life situation lesson in which both the teacher and the student have their instrument and they play together on the new things that they're studying, the exercises they're practicing on, and the parts of the real playing, the songs and the improvisation. As we said from the beginning of this video, it's about listening, understanding, trying to imitate what we are listening to, and through this process, learning. So each one of the videos in the study and practice sections are interactive. It means that you can follow them playing along with your instrument. My guitar is going to be taken from different angles, and most of the times the new material is taken from a point of view that is the same that you look at your instrument from. And that's another very interesting and unique feature, I believe, that really helps a lot to visualize and memorize new scales, new chords, new material. And if you don't only look and watch those parts, but also play along with them, your learning process is going to be much more fun and much faster. The main title of the whole course has a sentence that I love, that I borrowed from ancient Eastern culture philosophy, which basically says what we're talking about here. It means that if I'm explaining something to you, you can listen carefully and try to understand. If I show it to you, you can look, but only if I let you experience, you're really going to learn. So it's really important for you to play with your teacher to really learn something in a musical training program. The most challenging part for me to conceive in that direction, following this philosophy, was the Play With Me section, because that's where playing together really makes the huge difference. But I didn't want to create some kind of regular backing tracks There are plenty of great backing tracks around, but training for improvisation on a backing track is not even close to the feeling that you have when you play with someone, when you improvise together with someone in a way that's like a conversation. So what I always do with my students when I play in one-to-one lessons is something really similar to what happens in a band, which is each one can make a solo and then goes to the comping. When you play in a band, you play a riff, you play the chords, you go with the rhythm section, and there is a point in which it's your turn to make a solo. That's a real conversation with the other musicians. So what I try to recreate as close as possible to that feeling is a sort of, I want to call them interactive backing tracks. Some lessons in which we are playing on chord progressions and we can both experience the part of the soloing and the one of the comping. That's going to give us a complete vision of the things that we're playing on, and we're going to be aware about all of the different aspects that as guitar players we're going to cover: the melodic, the harmonic and the rhythmic part. I think I've found a way to make this play with me lessons which is very effective and very fun to play over. So I'm very happy and proud of it, and I'm going to record many more in that direction. So as soon as they will be uploaded, I really recommend you to check those out and try to play with them. One last very important feature that I care a lot about is that my intention with this course is to create an ordered method. So most of the videos are going to be numbered lessons. You can experiment with any one of those videos, of course, and you can jump from one to another to check them out and try them. But then once you find the point of the program that's more suitable for your level, it might be interesting to go on following the progression of the lessons. I'm going to start from the very beginning, working on the 5 positions of the major scale in the system called caged. We're going to make exercises and practice on these scales in order to get familiar with them and get ready to use them in our improvisation. We are going to also understand some theory, a very important topic called harmonization, which is going to explain us what's the relationship between the scale and the chords. And then we're going to start to play together in the Play With Me section to improvise on first simple harmonic progressions and then more structured songs, and so on. Then we're going to change key, more exercises with the scales transposed in different keys, more interactive backing tracks. Then later on we're going to work also on the pentatonic scales, etc. I'm going to upload a new lesson every week, possibly. The whole course is completely for free. The only help I'm asking you is to subscribe to the channel. It's a very simple thing for you to do, but it's a great help for me as a creator to allow me to continue to produce material for this channel. And also you can like the videos, share them, you can leave comments if you want to give suggestions for future videos. And if you want to make sure not to lose any lesson, you can click on the notification bell when you subscribe to the channel and you will be notified every time a new video is uploaded. So now we are really ready to get started with the first lessons. So go to look for them. I hope to see you there. For now, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you soon. Ciao, bye bye.